Welcome to this overview video of InForm for QB64. What I'm going to show you in this preview is first the interface and then how we work with InForm Designer to produce a rich application that's event-driven and totally in QB64. Well, first thing you see is these two screens, the main InForm Designer interface and the preview window. On the left side of the main window, we have a toolbox with all the controls that can be added. We have here a button, label, text box, checkbox, radio button, list, drop-down list, track bar or slider, progress bar, picture box, and a frame, which is a container for other controls. Here we have the properties that can be edited for each control. I'm going to show them in detail for each control in subsequent videos. Here we have a color mixer that can be used for controls that accept color properties like forecolor, backcolor, selected forecolor or backcolor for menus and lists like the one you see here, and border color. Well, the basic interface also contains a menu bar which can be used to access most options like creating a new form, discarding the one that's currently loaded, open an existing form. When we click this, we get an open dialog that shows all the files which can be opened by InForm Designer. We can also save the currently being edited form, and you see that there is no dialog for saving because the file name is already preset based on the frames on your form's name property. I'm going to show that later. You can quit the program by using this option. In the edit menu we have undo and redo options and also a way to change the order of controls, the Z ordering or tab ordering. On the menu view we have keep preview window attached. This is only for Windows. On Linux and Mac OS this won't be available. And what it basically does is when it's checked and you move the main window, the form window goes along. These are actually two separate applications if you haven't noticed yet, and I'm going to show it here on my QB64 folder. I have the UI editor executable and the preview, which is the one that shows the result of our edits. This window may eventually be closed, and as it is a separate program, if you need to reopen it, you go here, view, open preview window, and it's back up. We also have here a loaded fonts option. I'm going to talk about it later. In the insert menu, we can add a menu bar to our form. I'm going to show that in detail in a subsequent video. We have align options. All of them are disabled right now as we don't have any control selected here. And here in options we can allow auto name controls to be done by InForm itself, which automatically, you can see the description, it's just there, automatically set control names based on caption and type. So this is the basic workflow for InForm Designer. You start by adding controls. I want a button, there's my button, I can move it around, resize it, place it whatever I want, and then let me add another label. Let's see, let's create a login form. This is going to be your ID. And then I'm going to add a text box. Let me add another label. Let's see, password. Notice that while I type a caption, the control name is automatically changed based on the type of control. This has LB at the end because it's a label. I can choose a different name for my control here, or accept the choice, the suggestion that it made to me. If I don't want the suggestions to keep coming as I change captions, I just disable this option here and I can change the caption, caption, without having the control name change as well. but it's very convenient and easy to manage, so I prefer to keep it on. Let me add another text box here for the password to be input. In this case, I'm going to do that. Let me name these text boxes as ID text box and password text box. Okay. Now this form is a little bit too big for a login form. Let me just make it resizable, and I can make it the size I want. This button is a bit too big. Still a bit too big. Oh, let's give it a caption, of course, right? Enter. That's ugly. Enter. I'm not going to go into full details here as to how I designed this form. I'm going to show more techniques later. I just want to have a basic form up here so that you know what's going to happen after you design a form. Let me give it a name. Login. Well, this program is going to start with this window, a login window. And now I want to give it function. Right now, as it is, it's not going to do anything. There is just a dull text box there, a dull button. It's not going to do anything until I actually add code to it. This is just the design phase. After I'm happy with the result, I go to File and choose to save. Notice that it's already called login because the form name is login. I just typed that and it's going to save it like that. It says here that it's going to save a file called login.frmbin, form binary. And in this case, it's going to save actually 3 files, not just 2. So when I choose to save here, it's going to show me that it saved 3 files. Login.base, login.form, frm actually, and login.binary form, frmbin. And then it gives me the chance to keep editing it or exit to QB64, which I'm going to do right now. There we have it. QB64 was launched and it automatically loaded the base source that was just generated by InForm. And this is the basic structure of an InForm program after it's generated. We have here the control IDs that have just been created by me on that design window. Remember, login is my form, enter BT is the name of the button that I created. There is these 2 labels here and the text boxes I created. Here we have the modules that are required for InForm to do its thing, and the form that was generated was also included here, as it is an external file which can be edited by the user. And then we have the sub-procedures, the event procedures. We don't have a main loop in these programs, in these generated programs, as the main loop is controlled by InForm itself, as in any event-driven program. What we have here are sub-procedures that are going to be filled with code to respond to the events. So let me show you the list of procedures we have. These are the basic procedures that are triggered with certain moments of your program. Before init is a sub-procedure that is triggered every time your program is started, even before the form is shown. Unload is a procedure that is going to be triggered just after your program is shown on screen first time. There is this sub-procedure called before update display, which is triggered with every form repaint. There is also a before unload sub-procedure which you can use to show, I don't know, a message box to your user, for example, if the changes have not been saved. If the user clicks an X button and then chooses to close your program, this sub-procedure is going to be triggered first, and you have the chance to either cancel the closing or do something before it, before your program is actually closed, like save files or whatever. And here we have the procedures that are control related. I mean, for every control, these subprocedures are going to respond differently. For example, UI click. You see here that UI click is going to respond for every control in your form. And for example, enter BT is my main button in that login form we designed earlier. So if I want it to do something, this is where I'm going to add code to it. So I want that login form to validate my form, check if the password was valid, etc. This is where I'm going to enter it. As this is just a quick demonstration, I'm going to actually just tell QB64 to go back to system when this button is clicked. And this is it. This is just as hard as it goes to create a program using InForm. Design it, go to QB64 and write the code to respond to those buttons or controls and whatever you created. So, well, this basic form I just designed so far is just going to respond to the enter button, and it's going to be a system statement that is going to be executed. So when the user clicks the enter button, the system statement is going to be executed. Let's see how it goes. I go to run. Let me start this detached. You don't have to, I just want to. After QB64 creates my program, it's fired up. It's right here off screen. Let me drag it back. And this is my functional user interface that is going to allow me to type and actually interact with all of these controls. And as I made the enter button respond with a system statement, bam, this is what happens. So this is the basic workflow. Let me exit QB64 here and save my changes. This is my QB64 folder, and these are the files that have been output. And this is my program that's just been compiled by QB64. And if I want to edit this form again, I go back to the editor, file, open, here's the login form, and here it is again, so I can edit it. This is the basic workflow for InForm Designer. I hope you like this video, and in the next videos of the series, I'm going to showcase each control and its properties so that you can have a broad view of how each of them works. Thanks for watching.